This week we're going to talk about the NFL Combine. We're going to review that and possibly give you guys like an introduction into like our top 5 picks of what we think, could happen. We might even talk about a little bit of free agency towards the end. Riley, what you got, man?
Combine review. I think there's some definite standouts in that. And then possibly get into some things in regards to free agency. I mean, I think we talked about both of those things this offseason compared to a lot of off seasons. There's a lot of talent. I think there was definitely some people that stood out in the combine this year, and there were some people that I wish we saw some more of. But I think there's definitely some of those that didn't do anything in the combine, and it didn't hurt them at all. They have the tape. They don't need to go run a 40. They don't need to go prove nothing. They have the tape against the top of the line talent. What did you think about the combine, Josh?
I like the combine a lot. I think at this point in my life, I probably like the combine more than the Pro Bowl, to be honest. And there's some people who say that it's like this really dumbed down, it's like Rich Eisen, and it's like you're watching a fucking golf tournament, and it's real, like laid back, and it's like, I don't know, dude. I'm big X's and O's guy. I'm big like, where could you put a guy like this? Where would this kind of guy make sense? And it's always like names that every year. And I like to think that I follow college like fairly heavily. There's always names every year where it's like, I have no idea who this cat is, but he just absolutely murked this, like whatever it was. And there's definitely a few examples of that. I also like to hear like the way that the analysts talk about who's, draft stock is rising versus falling as a result of the combine. It's just like, I don't know. It's like some people think that the combine is like, some people think that if you're at the combine, like, not only are you going to get drafted, but like that's all of the people who are going to get drafted. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that I liked about it. I thought one thing this year that was very, I guess, surprising to me is the lack of quarterbacks running 40s with like how hyped up the 40 time seems to be. It seems to be like that and the 3-cone drill are the only like real intangible. Like, no, this person did it with this time and this time. And like considering how much a lot of these college guys did make kind of their money from running the ball, and having like that escapability and that kind of mobility, it was really surprising when they were like, all right, and of this quarterback group, there's only going to be one quarterback running the 40, and it's going to be Sam Hartman. And I'm like, what? How are none of you going to show a 40 time here? You know what I mean? Like, I immediately thought of like Anthony Richardson, and like, what I know for a fact, what I know that 40 time did for his draft stock, like real life, they just saw this dude as a physical freak, and that just the 40 time iced the cake. And it's like, it's those fringe late first, like early to mid second round guys, the Pac-12 guys, really like Bo Nix and Mike Penix, where it's like, okay, Penix got, kind of a fucked up knee, that kind of makes sense, but Bo really ran the ball a ton. Really efficiently. It's like you would think that if he's there willing to throw, why wouldn't you be willing to do the 40-yard dash? Like, it just left a lot of questions to me. I thought that was really weird. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I like it more than the Pro Bowl at this point. I learned a lot about some cats that I absolutely wouldn't have known who they were had they not, participated in the combine. So I enjoyed it like I do every year. And then I guess we'll expand on our favorite standouts in a little bit. So, Ronnie?
Yeah, just to go off on a little bit of what Josh is saying in regards to the quarterbacks, I think it's probably simple. The reason they ain't running is because they knew it wasn't going to be good. Someone like Bo Nix needs to run a 4.69 to open eyes, and he ain't running that. Like Patrick Mahomes ran I think a 4.8 or like a 4.7 something. Kenny Pickett ran faster than Josh Allen. Right, but it doesn't work like that. So the quarterbacks are like, that probably doesn't matter. Like, are you going to tell me that Josh Allen is slower than Kenny? No. So, but to throw the 3 things that for the combine for me, bro, it just boils down to meetings, medicals, measurements. Like that's really the main thing of the combine. What teams are looking at. Some of the drills and stuff. Like I think a lot of teams have different opinions on them, but I think the drill specifically just boil down to question marks. Okay, like. Okay, Cooper DeJean, he's a white boy. They're all wondering what his 40 is. It must not be eye-popping if he didn't want to run it. He absolutely hurt his stock because 4 other corners did good in the 40, and it made sense. You know what I'm saying? Because they brought their stock up, which maybe didn't necessarily be a knock on him, but in turn, him not running it, just staying where he was, he got jumped, he got leapfrogged. So, it's probably because he was probably like a 4-5 guy or something. I'm sure he's a good athlete, quick twitch
He's
guy.
coming off a broken leg.
Well, I mean,
He
that's
broke his leg in November.
Yeah, but he's healthy. That boils down to like Michael Penix not running the 40. Michael Penix can't run 40 yards because his knee's bad. Like, that would be the biggest. Like, that wouldn't make any sense to me. What do you mean you can't run 40 yards? You're playing an NFL game. You take hits in the knee. You run 40 yards in the game. So, that's definitely. Look, teams are going to notice that. Cooper DeJean was like he was up there. He's probably going to fall a little bit because of that.
Some of these guys who didn't participate in some of those drills there and do some of those things, is that these guys saying, all right, bet, hold on 1 second. If you want to know what I could do, you'll come see me.
So I'll let Ronnie finish, and then when Ronnie, when Ronnie's finished, I've got a interest. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Ronnie. You go ahead and finish because I got an interesting thought about people not participating.
Yeah, I mean, basically what I'm saying is it boils down to, obviously, you talk to your agent, you see what's going on, and you're like, Cooper DeJean trusts himself. He probably wants to go to a good team and does not give a shit where, he lands. He's going to trust himself. So he's like, me running the 40, I'm not a low 4.4 guy. So they're immediately just going to, judge me on that, and it's going to somehow get opinionated for better or worse, and it's just not going to help me. But that's because he's not a 4.3 guy. Nate Wiggins, 4.29. Mitchell, like Josh was talking about the other day, the Toledo kid, he ran a 4.33. Those guys skyrocketed up the charts because of that. And then when I said medicals, measurements, and meetings, you think Chicago is trading Justin Fields before they have a medical meeting with Caleb Williams? I don't care what anybody says or if it looks good. They're not trading him until they meet and know that
who didn't take a physical. Yeah, didn't do a physical.
A fucking T-shirt. He didn't even take a goddamn physical.
He didn't even get measured.
That's what I'm saying. And then JJ McCarthy. People thought that he was going to be like 6'3", 200. He ended up being 6'2", 222. And now all of a sudden you're hearing about how he might go before Jaden Daniels. Then you got Jaden Daniels, and to Josh's point, a guy who probably should have ran the 40, like Anthony Richardson, right? You're Anthony Richardson. You got to run the 40. This is what you're about, bro. You got to do it. You're Jaden Daniels, bro. People are looking at you as like a dual threat guy. Your running is a huge, huge part of your game. Kind of similar to Bo Nix. But I think Bo Nix does it in a different way. You know what I mean? But, yeah, that's just my overall thoughts on those things about how guys kind of go up and down the board in regards to that. All right, yes, Avery, I know you wanted to say something about that.
Yeah, so I understand why Jaden Daniels decided to not work out because he's trying to look out for his receiver teammates, Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors. That I could understand. Them saying, if you want to see me, come to our pro day, so I can show off these other guys that I'm throwing the ball to. He's trying to make it seem like he's a good team. He's being a good teammate in that aspect. So I can understand that. However,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I had heard coming out as to why he wasn't participating was because he wanted to give his teammates a better.
If it's a lie,
you know what I mean? Like, hey, cool. You just came off as the ultimate team guy that's like trying to get other people a look because you're a top 3 pick. Like people saying you're gonna be a top 3 pick, so all 32 teams will probably be in attendance. Like, I mean, it's LSU's pro day, of course. Everybody's gonna show up because it's fucking LSU at the same time. But
this is my point. Okay, I'm with you 100%. But why can't Jaden Daniels say, all right, bet, look, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, because I'm going to showcase myself at the pro day, whatever. Here, NFL, give this to the next guy you would invite.
That's what I was going to
next guy can have a chance. I'm just saying, because I feel like when you have all these top prospects that aren't doing it, but they're going to do it at their pro day, or maybe they're not going to do it at all, you're taking away from somebody that is busting ass to try to get there. And you're not.
It is a good point that a lot of these guys will do certain things at the pro day. And
no, they're making millions. So this is my thing, though. This is my thing. These college players are making millions now. Fine them, bro. Fine them. They got paid. They're getting paid. What you mean? Why can't we? Oh, what? Because it's some new NIL thing. We can't like fine them as well. We can't hold them.
Fine them for not working out at the combine.
If you don't decline, like you're either gonna do it or you're not.
Right. You can't show up and just
like just don't show up and not participate. Come on now, like there's 220.
I didn't say
200 invites.
Maybe guys end up running 7-second 40s because they're jogging it, but now you just look like a fool, in my opinion. Well, you don't try, you don't compete.
The way that I view the NFL Combine, it's the biggest job interview that you will ever have in an environment that you control absolutely zero. They have you up at 4 a.m. to do piss tests, to do all types of shit. It's almost like a pressure test in a way. If you really want me to break it down, it's almost like going through Hell Week if you're a SEAL in some aspects because you're limited sleep before, like, going up, leading up to your day. Like, yeah, bro. Yeah. I can understand somebody not wanting to do a certain workout, like position-wise. If a lineman says, I don't want to bench 225, I feel you. Like, you don't know the weight room. You don't know who's spotting you. Cool. Like, as far as on the field drills, like, everybody should be doing that shit, bro. Go run a 40. Go do a 3-cone drill. Go do a shuttle drill. Because in a lot of these situations, your position, like, those drills, it matters. Like, even for linemen with bench pressing, I think you should do all the fucking things, especially because you have a pro day. You can show, hey, the combine, we know what it is. It's a very strict, non-environment that we're not used to. This is what I'm used to at home. So you can almost look at it like a home game. This is what to expect at home. This is the bottom of away games. Right. So that's just my view.
No, but I just think, there's thousands of players in college football, and most of them are striving to play at this next level. And when you're a Caleb Williams and you're the cream of the crop and you're just not doing it, I get it. I'm not saying you got to do it. I'm saying, why can't you opt out by a certain day to open up a spot for those next 3, 4, 5 guys and do what you want at your pro day? That's fine. You know what I'm saying?
What you do have to do if you're Caleb Williams is stand on the fucking ruler against the wall, get your height, stand on the scale, get your weight, and get a physical done, dude. That's groundbreaking.
No, 100%.
Never done that.
Is it safe to say Caleb Williams is the biggest prima donna, like, player?
He's Johnny Manziel.
I'm not gonna say that he's that big of a prima. I don't even think Johnny Manziel is a prima donna.
I don't know.
I'm not saying.
I mean, we could go. Let's roll into. A matter of fact, I'm gonna just squash the Caleb Williams talk right now because we're talking about the combine and quarterbacks at the combine, and he was a non-fucking factor. So no Caleb Williams quarterbacks at the combine, in my opinion. Ronnie hit on it, or Josh hit on it, I think. Sam Hartman came out and ran a 40. Okay, in my opinion, I think Sam Hartman did himself a lot of favors. He might not have been the best of the best at anything, but he came out. He showed he was able to prepare for a pressure situation, like Avery's talking about. He was able to go out and compete in some of these things and try. Like, sure, he knew he wasn't a fourth. Like, Sam Hartman isn't coming out and running the ball like Lamar Jackson.
Nobody 4-5. He moved.
But I'm just saying, nobody's drafting him
with the nicest hair.
Sam Hartman
4-5.
The Sam Hartman draft stock hurt if he runs.
You're in a 4-8.
If he hurt, did that hurt his draft stock? The 4-8.
No, but
Sam Hartman isn't as good of a quarterback. Sam Hartman
we're
is
talking about it like it has something to do with like toughness or fortitude. It has nothing to do with that, bro. There's millions of dollars on the line, and Caleb Williams has nothing to lose. No, he is only going to lose. He has the most to lose.
He does have to lose, apparently.
No, that's what I meant. He has the most to lose, is what I meant. He can only hurt himself. Whereas Sam Hartman, he can only help himself. Like, you have to absolutely do atrocious to hurt his stock. So that's all it is. Marvin
Yes,
Harrison
but-
didn't either. You got to tell me Marvin Harrison's been running drills since before any of them boys. He's got work ethic. His dad established in him all that. He didn't do any of the drills. Why? Because he knows.
But he
Why
has to
even
take.
give them a reason? Why give them a reason?
That's what I was. It
I
comes
don't
back
think
to
Caleb
the
Williams has the tape that Marvin Harrison
He
has.
doesn't. He
What?
doesn't. He's
I
been.
don't think Caleb Williams has the tape Marvin Harrison has.
It's been clearly established. Marvin Harrison Jr. best football player outside of it's him and Brock Bowers as far as football players. You put pads and helmets on, they're the two best football players in the draft. Like that, we can all come to a consensus on that, right?
But I'm just.
Oh no, there's a lot of players, but I mean, I know that every team that needs a quarterback wants Caleb Williams.
I understand what you're saying, and I'm completely with you. But my point is Sam Hartman came out, he competed, and he helped himself. Period. Point blank. That's
Yeah, but at the
what
end of
he
the day,
could
Sam
have.
Hartman is not going to be a franchise quarterback.
No, but what?
So-
But in my opinion, Sam Hartman and Drake May they're not much of a difference in my opinion. And Sam, but because of the fact what Sam Hartman came out and did in the combine, that's my point. What is Drake May?
What
The
was
most
Josh Allen?
consistent-
Pedigree. That's all it is. Pedigree. You're not there, bro. What quarterback? When is evaluating quarterbacks easy? You draft for talent. Ben Roethlisberger out the MAC.
I understand,
Stop
but I'm saying, just in my opinion,
Out the MAC. Carson Wentz, Jared Goff.
a player like Drake May hurt, but did all those people compete or did they?
Golf didn't throw at the combine.
Did the other ones that you mentioned? That's all I'm saying.
Wentz did, but because Wentz played
That's
D2,
what I'm just saying, like with quarterback, bro.
I'm not saying
it's
D2
about
either. It's
talent.
FCS.
It's about talent, how good they could be. There's a reason Brock Purdy went in the 7th round. He was great at Iowa State. He isn't a game changer. He's a game manager. Shout out
But
Cam Newton.
I'm saying Drake May didn't do anything, and Sam Hartman did something. Period. Point blank.
I mean, Notre Dame, North Carolina. He's throwing a tax future
I'm pretty
financial advisor.
yeah, car dealership.
Sure, if you look at the stats too, I'm pretty sure when Sam Hartman Wake, I'm pretty sure they beat Carolina where Drake May was.
Bro, I can't wait to come back to this one.
Bro,
You
I'm
guys are
not
trying to-
saying.
We're not saying he's better. We're saying
I'm saying
They're not far
did
apart.
better.
no. The
You
gap
say no.
closes. Period. Point blank. The gap closes because of what I've seen out of Sam Hartman. I'll give it to you. Drake May is a better quarterback, and maybe has a higher ceiling, and maybe finishes better.
I'm not even
But
saying that. Ceiling.
in my opinion,
First round pick.
in my
There's a way
opinion,
that teams look at, but there's a way that teams look at first round picks. That most
But
teams are going to say,
career.
for your
Before
position, you
Saturday-
have to be a certain height and weight to be a premium pick. And if like Bryce Young, there's a ton of teams that never would have took Bryce Young number 1. He's just too small.
right?
Period.
But I'm
You
saying
have to hit measurables. You have to have size, speed, strength to have that pedigree.
and that's where we were on Saturday. And that pedigree resume, because of what Sam Hartman did and Drake May didn't, that resume didn't hold high, in my opinion. You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying it completely flips things, but things are a bit closer, a bit more competitive, in my opinion, with those two guys in particular.
Okay.
Are you saying pedigree equals potential? Because that's what it sounds like.
To a degree, I mean, but it's all
So I
obviously an
got
opinion.
one.
It's an opinion.
I got
It's all
one.
opinion.
Yeah. I got one. If we're gonna say hypotheticals, okay? Quarterback A and quarterback B, okay? Quarterback A, you have backup career for 15 years,
Okay.
but he's not a first round pick.
Okay. Good backup.
Versus quarterback first round pick, flamed
Yeah,
out for 3 years, doesn't fucking do anything else. Because
Ryan Leaf.
with Drake May versus Sam Hartman, okay? I'm being completely honest with you. And that's where Riley's coming into it.
Yeah,
He's
but that's because your
Drake May
opinion
is going to be a starter. He's saying
Right.
Drake May is going to be a dependable
I hear you.
player that you can count
Yeah.
on.
Right, but that's because your opinion of Drake May is that he's not good.
He's not. The tape says it.
That's
I
your
don't
opinion.
think.
I mean,
I
Or you
don't
look at
think
the
he
tape.
is so much better.
Again, go back and watch
This
Josh
is
Allen.
this is what I'm saying though. I don't think that he's so much better that he can get away with doing nothing and just continue to ride just clean.
Okay,
Is
that
what
might
I'm
be
saying.
fair.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. He might be better, and he might continue to be better, but he isn't that
He's
much
better.
better.
God gave him more talent. Like that. That's that's what that boils down to.
Absolutely. But in my opinion, what's it worth if you ain't gonna come like, bro? You don't. I'm not saying the ACC is a slouch league, but it ain't the SEC. It ain't the Big Ten.
It was this. The ACC is going like this the last.
It ain't the Pac-12. Definitely not the
No,
Pac.
I
Like,
feel you. I
there's
think
a reason Florida State didn't go to the college
I
football
think
national
Caleb Williams
championship.
was I think Caleb Williams was the only one who had a point to not. But to
Correct.
Josh's point, I thought he should have at least done your physicals and measurements. Like what?
Yeah, bro.
No,
Like
the fact that Rich Eisen said, and the only quarterback of this group that's going to be running the 40 is going to be Sam Hartman. So we're going to see a
that
nice
was so
slow-mo
funny.
of his hair. And then he runs the 40 and he goes, and once he collects himself, takes a minute, he's going to run it again. It's like, dude, are you fucking kidding me?
hey, bro. Hey.
He ran it twice in 2 minutes. He ran the 40 twice in 2 minutes. That's absurd, dude.
Like, you mean to tell me there isn't another quarterback in Division One that doesn't want to go out there and show the NFL and scouts what they can do on a 40 time, and y'all are just like, oh yeah, it's cool. Like, bro, what?
How much of that is
What
their
are we
how
talking
much
about?
of that is their agent in their ears saying, "Listen, there's no fucking point in doing
Okay,
this.
so
Just
then-
don't do it."
Hold on. I'm just curious about something. When has 40-yard dash time ever been an indication of a good quarterback? I mean, come on.
That was
I'm saying
that was
showcase
a
themselves.
massive. That was probably
period.
25% of the reason why the Colts drafted Anthony Richardson.
When they
Because
did.
he had a good 40.
I'd say 25%.
Yes.
Yeah,
If he comes out there and runs a 4.8, do they?
because that's when they were like,
Well,
"Oh,
yeah,
this
bro.
dude doesn't-"
Everybody in
That's-
America
that-
knew Anthony
because it wasn't.
Richardson wasn't
It
going
wasn't
to
until they didn't start comparing him to Cam Newton
God.
until he ran his 40. He
When-
ran his 40 and they started talking about Anthony Richardson like this is the most physical motherfucker
Bro.
we've seen since Cam
Yeah,
Newton.
and the other 75% they drafted him is because he has a goddamn rocket attached to his arm. So
Yeah.
there you go.
It's a little uncontrolled. We don't have it quite dialed, but it zips.
Nah, it was the on the 15 other receivers that were getting drafted with him that said, "Oh shit, now we can equate that 40 that he just ran at 4.5 with oh fuck, he can throw to random receivers. Huh, we have a top 5 pick. Holy shit!"
I just. Again,
What's the difference
But that's
between
also a
Anthony
very
Richardson and
specific
Joe
group.
Milton?
There's only been like a couple quarterbacks that are specifically rely on running like that. One of them is Josh Allen. He ran a slower 40 than Kenny Pickett. So
What is
of
what?
course they're going to want to see what Lamar Jackson and Anthony Richardson 40-yard dashes because they're fast black quarterbacks. That's why they want to see it. When it's Josh Allen, no big deal.
No, I mean I think the league itself is transitioning to a place where you need to have like, or it's at least very useful to have a mobile quarterback.
Oh, wait, didn't Tom Brady just win? Oh, wow, that was like 3 years ago.
Oh man, you're gonna talk about the greatest quarterback.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
bro, but he wasn't mobile. What could he do? He could maneuver a pocket. Jared Goff,
Who were the mobile
Jared Goff.
quarterbacks in
Jared Goff.
fucking 2001 when he got drafted? You're talking about Tom Brady.
Okay, Jared
league
Goff.
has transitioned. That's all I'm trying to say.
Jared Goff, NFC Championship.
but again, I think we all could agree that there's realistically 12 starting quarterbacks that are completely safe between now and September or August, whatever, of week 1 of NFL. 12 of them, maybe 13. I don't know, give or take 1 or 2, 15, 10, somewhere in there.
If you made the playoffs last year, you're pretty much solid at the quarterback position. I think.
Baker
That's
Mayfield
just me.
won a playoff game.
Well,
I'm just saying. I'm with you. I'm not trying to argue that point. I'm just saying.
Time with him because apparently Baker Mayfield's coming back.
I'm just telling you, when we talk about quarterbacks in general, there's literally 13 in the world currently that have a safe job. Tops.
Exactly. Out of 32 of them, more than half are looking for a new one.
And what I'm saying is if I'm looking for a new one, if you're not going to do anything, Well, guess what? I'm looking right past you, right at the folks that are doing some shit.
Especially if you're going to trade up for him, right? Maybe if
Yeah.
you're Washington and you're there and you need it and you got new regime, like, okay, let's take a chance. But yeah, I definitely agree with that. If you're looking up to move up for Drake May or something, I don't know. I would definitely do it, though, if I was the Giants or something, like roll it back with Danny Jones, like, or something like that. Like, I don't know.
Dan Quinn on Pardon My Take pretty much all but admitted he's drafting Drake May. Like, pretty much said it on their podcast.
I mean,
it just emphasizes how fucking
sad.
stupid Dan Quinn is, but he basically said on the podcast, he said he prefers Drake May to Caleb Williams. Said
That's
that on the
fucking
podcast.
Yeah, that's what Darius Butler was saying. Yeah, after he golfed.
So now we got to see. Now let's keep that information and see draft night who has pull in that room. Let's see who's really calling the shots.
Well, they're going to be
Lord knows if Dan Quinn, that franchise is in for a long haul.
Yeah.
Or just another really bad year, which, I mean, their fans are anticipating at this point.
So how do you feel about Jaden Daniels then, Avery?
I love Jaden Daniels. I love Jaden Daniels.
Listen, this is what I'll say. Can I say something right before you start?
Yeah,
compare Drake May to Jaden Daniels. Their tape, their competition week in and week out, and their records and their stats, and it's not even close.
It's not close, period.
Jaden Daniels is also like 3 years older than Drake May and is in his 5th year. So, can he pick it?
Didn't he just win the Heisman?
Yeah. You can win your Heisman in your 5th year.
Right. What did he put up last year?
Not doing nothing for a long time, and then he went to, or I think that's where he was, Indiana.
You said he didn't do anything?
Arizona, yeah, that's what it was. It was a red team.
Yeah. And, like, I don't know, Brandon Ayuk, the dude had fucking...
Let me ask you this.
The team wasn't terrible, Ronnie. What are you talking about?
Nobody was talking about Jaden Daniels at the beginning.
They played in the Pac-12.
Nobody was talking about Jaden Daniels as a top
career is 5 times harder than Drake May's ever been. I'm telling you that. I've seen Drake May since he was a fucking freshman. He hasn't. He's not good. He doesn't play anybody.
A few years ago, people were talking about Drake May as a potential 2024 NFL top 3 draft pick. At the beginning of last college season, not one person in America was saying that Jaden Daniels would be a top 3 pick. It's bias, recency bias. That's what it is.
Is it? Is it? Well, it's not just going out with 55.
But I'm saying, I hear what you're
saying. You're right. You're right. It's got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with him playing in college. All right, bro.
Bro,
like,
but listen.
What about Justin Fields, though?
But hear me out.
He wasn't good because his receivers around him. He had elite neighbors. That's wide receiver university, bro. So he can't be good if he has that much talent around him.
Ronnie, hear me out. You're talking about a guy, right, Drake May, who has this pedigree, who has this height, who has the whatever, the size to play, right? The measurable, right?
Oh, I'm not saying he's better than Jaden Daniels.
No, but I'm saying this. And then there's a guy like Jaden Daniels who didn't have that. So he went to Arizona or Arizona State.
No, he does have that. He does have that. He has more talent than Drake May.
Are you sure?
That's what
because Drake May is supposed to be this top pick. What you just said.
Caleb
That's what you
the top pick.
You just said before the season started, Drake May was top 2024 NFL pick versus Jaden Daniels, who was it?
Yes.
You just made Riley's
got up in the last year.
But what I'm saying is the reason he did that is because of the competition. Period, point blank. Drake May has not played anything close to that competition, and it's not. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
That's why. 100%, I'm with you. But that is why, right? And it's the same reason why he should have participated in the combine, in my opinion. That dude didn't do anything good for himself by not competing. Did absolutely bad things all the way around. Drake May, in my opinion, 100%.
Well, you just can't be picky and choosy when you say Justin Fields at Ohio State had receivers around him, but then Jaden Daniels with elite neighbors who's potentially.
I didn't say he didn't have receivers around him.
Like Brandon Ayuk, Ricky Pearsall, who's going in this draft, is going to be a steal in the 2nd or 3rd round. Like what?
We agree on that.
Yeah, who's the running back for Tampa Bay? The Rashad kid. Like he was the running back. He was the running back at Arizona State with Jaden Daniels. I'm not saying he's never had talent and he makes everybody around him, but you see what happens when he gets talent. And then he left a talent-rich team. He left a talent-rich team and went to LSU, another talent-rich team in the hardest conference in football outside of being in the NFL, and dominated.
Let me ask you this. Is Jaden Daniels' run game a huge component of his game?
Yeah.
Okay, the same way that you said that if Anthony Richardson runs a 4.41, that makes it 25%, right? So if Jaden Daniels goes out there on his pro day and he runs a 4.6, then what?
Okay, he's not.
He doesn't get that 25.
Then guess what? He goes from a top pick to falling out probably 15 to 20. Like, that's what's going to happen. But let's just be completely honest. The reason he didn't run was because he didn't want to run the risk of running that 4.6 away from home. Because guess what? That's another thing that we're not talking about. The turf. You're running a 40 on turf. You know, I'm not saying all these other college, like most places have turf or natural grass. Like you go outside, they got natural grass. You go inside, they got turf. A lot of those pro days are going to be on natural grass.
I'm just saying, in regards to specifically Drake May, and I made a note of it. He did absolutely nothing but hurt himself by not competing.
Oh, yeah, no, he's probably the most boomer bust prospect out of the quarterbacks. I mean, you could probably say Caleb Williams, too, but, like, for Drake May, it really is, like, it could be bust, or it could be...
Going into this draft, he's Mitch Trubisky.
Bro, that's literally what I was going to say. Like, he could be Mitch
all the way down
Trubisky.
to the college. He's Mitch Trubisky going into this draft.
Literally, that's the same things they say about Mitch. They say about Drake May.
Right.
Mitch had better
draft. Mitch Trubisky passed up on a couple of guys.
Yeah, that was dumb though. Like
it was. It sure was.
Like that made no sense. Deshaun Watson. I mean, right now is
Ian Quinn being a defensive coordinator, going on to pardon my take, saying I like Drake May more than Caleb Williams is beyond dumb. It's one of the dumbest things.
Cliff Kingsbury as your OC, wasn't he just Caleb Williams OC last year?
Yeah, but bro, they can't get
just trying to push Vegas.
I'm saying he's trying.
Are they just flipping the odds? Are they just pushing the odds for some bettors here, or what?
Hey, bro, I don't know what they're doing. If I
gamble because I don't bet the draft,
bro.
You can. I don't.
If I was really a gambling guy, then I would have taken the under on Peyton Wilson running a 4.46 in the 40 because holy shit.
That was crazy.
All right, we'll move on. Hey, that wraps it up for the quarterbacks. Did anybody just real quick, did any quarterback do something great for their stock here? Like my
JJ McCarthy probably.
No.
Clearly, JJ McCarthy made a huge impact. They're talking about him as a top 5 pick right now.
I don't know if he goes there. Because it might be like Malik Willis when the whole world was like, God damn. And then Malik fell to like the third of the fourth.
JJ McCarthy threw. JJ McCarthy and Michael Penix both probably helped themselves the most because McCarthy had better measurements.
I think Penix
McCarthy's measurements were huge, and they said that he was amazing on the whiteboard.
I don't think that there was much to question as far as Penix's throwing ability, but him throwing and kind of not missing any fucking passes, it kind of just like guaranteed, like, no, this guy's floor is pretty fucking high.
He can make every throw.
That's the thing. Make no mistake, bro. Like this lefty who's a little older, who's got a banged up knee, has a fucking cannon, and he feels no pressure, dude. I like Mike Penix a lot.
You put that guy behind a top 15 offensive line, top 10, that's going to be scary.
You give Mike Penix the 49ers. You replace Penix, Purdy with Penix. I'm not saying they'll do it.
No, absolutely.
But I'm just, I like.
I'm very curious to see where he goes, though, because he's one of those late first, early second guys, and I don't get why.
Mike Penix to the Dolphins.
Ooh.
Holy moly.
I think that could possibly be somewhere. I think into the first round, kind of like what the Ravens did with Lamar. I think the Chiefs
someone's gonna trade up late.
Somebody who didn't get one of the top 3 guys, and they say, I love Michael Penix.
Yeah.
And they come in, they swoop up, and they pick him 30 to 32.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be impressed. I don't think, personally, I thought JJ missed a lot of like easy throws. Like, we're just gonna call him easy. Like, he didn't look accurate. This is supposed to be one of the most accurate guys in the class. He did throw the ball further than what he did, than what he was supposed to.
We're talking about what the GMs and people are saying.
Like the arm strength, yeah. Like, he threw about 60 miles an hour. He threw about 60 miles an hour.
Just with the rumors are coming out of the combine where, the measurements they liked, and then specifically, this is a part of it we don't see. The coaches, absolutely, this is a fact. Peter Schrager is an absolute dog. You don't miss. Peter Schrager said these coaches are very, very impressed with J.J. McCarthy. And there's other reports about this. Specifically, though, he is amazing on the whiteboard. He knows the X's and O's of the game, and he also has the quarterback size. He's 6'2", 220. That's Aaron Rodgers size. So he gives you enough arm strength. He gives you the X's and O's, and he gives you the pedigree a little bit. So, I mean, that's what they're seeing. I'm not saying that I like him, but
yeah, I'm not sold on McCarthy. I think him being under Jim Harbaugh, like Harbaugh being a former NFL quarterback, that helped a lot.
A lot.
I gotta send you a video after this to add into this. Just real quick, right after Ronnie said Pete Schrager is a dog, he doesn't miss. I have to send you a video after this. I have to send you a video. It has to go in this podcast somewhere.
He knows Peter Schrags knows his stuff, man. He ain't
I think we're about done with quarterbacks, so let's move to running backs.
Let me say one more thing about quarterbacks. Joe Milton fucking stinks. And anybody who even pretends to draft him and thinks that he helped himself at the combine, you don't understand football. You haven't been watching tape. Joe Milton is bad at football.
Joe Milton's
he can throw. If you want to draft Joe Milton, draft him in the 6th round. And if you're in a Hail Mary situation, be like, all right, Joe, now's your fucking time to shine, dude. Go out there and throw it up for 90 fucking yards.
5 miles an hour.
Bro, dude, I would have said the same thing about Jalen Hurts when he was at Alabama.
Because he won't get it to the guy on a fucking crosser 8 yards in front of him. But he'll bomb the motherfucker into the end zone on a 50-50.
I saw Joe Milton throw about 88 yards at the Madden Passing Academy. That was what sold me on Joe Milton, bro.
Joe Milton fucking stinks.
All right, so running backs. I think, bar none, Corum. I mean, he was obviously a top pick. Bro, listen, when I watched Corum bench, I was like, hey, I want this guy on my team.
It's a grown fucking man, bro. I think Josh has got another guy from backup, the Isaac Quaid. I don't know how to say his last name. He was the fucking star. Like, that was a star. Blake Corum, hammer him as RB1. Like, hammer him. That dude is RB1 easily.
He gave me some Christian McCaffrey-esque feel at the combine. I'm not saying that's where he's at, but I'm saying, like, just coming in and showing the absolute work that he puts in, obviously, clearly, day in and day out, when it comes to those measurable things, 40s, bench, all of it, dude. He's just you could tell he's a workhorse, and whoever's going to get that guy is going to get a great running back in this draft.
And they're going to get him late, dude.
Yeah, they're going to get him late.
I can already smell it, dude. I can already smell it. Harbaugh is going to be like, what the fuck is he still doing on this draft board?
Well, Eckler's a free agent, isn't he?
Yeah, and Eckler's a free agent, and Blake Corum's coming into this fucking draft, and nobody's talking about him like a first-round guy at all. Really, barely in the second round. Harbaugh's going to draft Blake Corum in the second round.
He's tall.
Well, bro, it's just the numbers matter because you got to talk about positions of need. A running back isn't more important than an offensive tackle, a wide receiver.
Severely undervalued.
Yeah, they're undervalued, but bro, would you give up Najee Harris, keep Jalen Warren, and have spent that first-round pick on a stud offensive tackle, center?
A center? Yeah, I was gonna say a center. Yeah.
You know, that's where it is. You can find a guy later like that. And then even Corum, a first-round pick coming off of ACL, one ACL, he's done. Look at Gurley.
He's not. Nobody's talking about him in the first round.
I didn't say the
Yeah,
first
bro,
round.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I'm just saying.
If he goes first, it's going to be 30 to 30. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think a running back is going in the first round. I think the first running back that's going to get drafted is going to be the kid from USC. I think somebody's going to get fucking Blake Corum late.
I heard people saying that out of the first 10 picks, bro, we could potentially see something where it's all offense. Maybe one corner goes, or Dallas Turner, because he's an edge guy.
I say Dallas Turner.
Were you saying?
And that's,
you said
bro,
the
when you
first
talk
round?
about like the positions of need,
Yeah,
bro, like I love.
buddy.
I heard somebody like,
Oh,
bro, I
Jared
heard somebody explain it.
So
I
you
heard
think
somebody
Dallas
explain it
is
like this one
crazy.
time. You got the
Crazy.
quarterback, that's number one. You got the guy who protects the quarterback, the guy who chases the quarterback, the guy who catches passes from the quarterback, and then I can't
The
remember
guy
what
who
the last
stops
one
the
was.
guy from catching passes from the.
Yeah, exactly. The guy to stop the guy. Yeah, the corner. That's how they were breaking it down, and I was like, yeah, it really is true. So, you know, edge Dallas Turner, but he's like the only edge guy deserving of probably a top 15.
Dallas Turner is the only like speed rusher, like pure speed rusher. Like
What
that's
about that
the
Jared Vert?
Yeah, Jermaine Vert.
Yeah,
Jared Vert.
FSU. He's nice.
That's a hand in the ground defense end if I've ever seen. That kid is a fucking monster.
And he might be around come pick, I don't know, 16.
You want to talk about a freak? That kid measures up to Myles Garrett. If you look at it,
looking at Michael Penix.
Hey, listen. Let's talk about running backs. We're running D linemen, running backs, gang.
My bad. Yeah, I got Corum, bro. Like Corum, he finished top 10 in every single metric as far as 40 time. He was number 10. His 10-yard split, he was tied for 8th. His vertical jump was 35.5, tied for 8th. 3 cone, he was 3rd. 6.82. 4.12 shuttle time was 2nd. And Riley talked about it. He killed the fucking bench. He took 220
as much as Joe Alt.
Time, bro. Bro,
he put up one of the best tackles in the draft. They both
put up lineman numbers. Put up lineman numbers. Jared Verse put up 225 31 times. He's 7 inches taller and outweighs him by 50 pounds. That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, dude.
No, someone's gonna steal Corum. I liked Isaac Garendo. I like Louisville's running back Isaac Garendo. And I like
Texas's running back. I don't think he's bad, but I just don't think he performed the way Corum is the guy.
Who's the one from USC? That's the one who's honestly going to go off the board first.
Marshawn Lloyd, I do believe that's the running back from USC this year.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the first running back taken in the second round.
The thing about Garendo is his tape is going to be iffy because he has leading the country in rushing for 90 or at least 8 games through the year this year, like in front of him. So his tape is going to be a little spotty. But I've seen a lot of guys compare him to old Raiders running back Justin Vargas as far as his athleticism.
No, he murked the combine. He didn't look bad at fucking anything.
All right, here's a really, really, really hot group. Running backs just around the NFL. It is what it is, but with the injuries we've seen and the failed big contracts, it's just not a first-round top priority. Bottom line. I think they are valued. You get a good running back like Christian McCaffrey or,
his little brother Luke.
Regardless, you get a good running back, you could be in a good position in the NFL, but it's just not a value right now. What is a value is the receivers, and we hit on it a second ago. I'm going to hit on it right now. I think Marvin Harrison Jr., very similar to the Caleb Williams situation that Ronnie brought up, where he has everything to lose kind of deal. But I think unsimilarly to anybody else in this draft, Marvin Harrison Jr. has tape on all of the top talent, and he has played extremely well.
His tape is undeniable.
He does not need to run a 40 because he's run past all of the top corners in 40 yards on the tape. Yeah. So
there's no doubt about that one.
Best tape out, bro. He's got the best tape out. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s tape is fucking immaculate.
In that same breath of air, I wouldn't be surprised if Roman Odunze has a better career when it's all said and done or something crazy like that.
Sure.
He's not terrible either.
Oh, he's so good.
But I think somebody who stood out to me, not only because for a few reasons. Well, for one, I think the Texas receiving core came to play at the combine because, for what it's worth, I think it's and for college football recruiting reasons.
Please don't you say Xavier Worthy.
I know.
Hear me out 1 second. Hear me out 1 second. For a college football recruiting reason, if you're Texas and you can show out like you did with the receiving core that they did, and you're a young kid and you're like, wow, those Texas receivers were well prepared and performed extremely well across the board. I think as a group, from us, and I think that might speak volumes when we talk about some recruiting classes here in the near future. You know what I mean?
If only they were prepared on game days.
But I mean, we're also talking about an unsalary cap league that they're playing in.
That's what I was going to say.
Let's give the NCAA a salary cap, and then you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that Xavier Worthy
got money.
No, I'm not saying Xavier Worthy is better than Roma Duze or Marvin Harrison by any stretch. But what I'm saying is if I'm a college coach and I can say, yo, when we went to the 2024 combine, this is what everybody was looking at our dudes, and when we left that combine with our training, this is how they ended up. I'm just telling you.
He's John Ross.
Who, Xavier Worthy?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm not going to sit here and stand on it. I'm just saying, as far as measurables.
The one thing I would point out, the difference between him and John Ross that people don't talk about, though, is so he ran a 0.01 faster, right? Yeah, but he's 20 pounds lighter. John Ross did it at 190. Stop playing with him.
Right.
Put 20 pounds on Xavier and see if he can keep that 0.01.
Everybody played with him in the league.
Yeah.
You said what?
Everybody played with him in the league.
Except nobody can play with it.
To be honest, so in some positions, that's why I don't get like why people put a lot. Like I see Ronnie's like argument as to why you put a lot of stock in the 40 for players like Xavier Worthy. When you put pads on him, he's not running a 40. You know what I mean? Like
he ain't running.
Dude, you're not even running on a 40-yard straight line often.
Hey, put him on a drag and put Fred Warner cover in the middle. It don't matter it don't matter. Or Dre Greenlaw. I mean,
you in the shuttle, right? Shuttle and the 3-cone, right? Like that's what a 3-cone drill is, right?
That's one of my favorite ones to look at because that to me kind of shows you a little bit more of
change of direction. You got the 3-cone drill does change of direction. The shuttle does stop and start. Like
that first 10 yards of the 40 is not bad.
I think the 40 time matters
the biggest. Yeah,
the 10-yard split. I really like that a lot. Yeah.
I think the 40 time matters most for the defensive backs. I think that's when, me personally, that's when I'm paying the most attention.
Or the people that just have a little question mark where there's those tape at those guys. You're like, dude, he's a dog, but like, is he fast enough? And then that 40 either solidifies that answer or not. You know what I mean?
I'll bring up a receiver that.
But I think hold on. One thing. Hold on. I think that when you have a guy like a cornerback, that sure maybe he runs a 4.5, but he comes out and does 30 reps at 225. Like, whoa. You know what I'm saying?
Might a guy that
I'm not saying it directly relates, but I'm saying when you're in that combine state, or you're an offensive lineman and you come out, or a defensive lineman running 4.4s and 4.5s now. Like I think that's definitely scary, bro. At the combine.
I have to make a small point, which is funny to what Avery was just laughing, bro. I saw a stat today that Jay Cutler, back when he ran it and or when he was at the combine, had more. He had 24 reps, or like 26. This would have been number one for linebackers this year. So you're seeing less strength in the backers and more speed.
There's only 6 linebackers at bench, by the way.
Well, we're seeing more. What are we seeing on the football field? We're seeing more speed, less not physicality, but we're seeing more speed. And then we're seeing it in the combine too. So
I'll tell you this from a coaching standpoint, and I don't know how long. I haven't been doing it long, but there's a certain point in the year when you evaluate your positions and you go like this. All right, well, this dude isn't cutting it at safety or corner. Or he's not cutting it at corner, so I'm going to move him to safety. But he was fast enough to be a corner. He's just going to go play safety for me now. You know what I mean? And now that safety wasn't fast enough to, or wasn't good enough to play safety, but he's speed makes up for it at linebacker. So now I just moved him down, and now I just took this middle linebacker and I put him on the edge because he's not fast enough to move this way, but he can get off the ball faster than the O lineman. So that's how that trickle down effect.
And I want to just talk about one receiver whose 40 time did hurt him. Keon Coleman from Florida State.
Oh yeah.
Keon Coleman from Florida State, bro.
But he ran the gauntlet the fastest.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. When you put on his game tape, he's not running 4.6. So is it a case of the yips? Like somebody to look forward to. That's a guy that you look for at his.
You're right. Yeah, and if he's doing 22 miles per hour full speed, getting 8 fucking balls thrown at him, and he ain't dropped one of them. That's way more impressive than running fast in a straight line.
And you talk about tape.
He's got tape of him head tapping kids at Florida State. He was a fucking freak athlete. He was a 2-sport athlete coming out of high school. 4-star wide receiver or 4-star basketball guy, borderline 5-star wide receiver. Like, kids like that I'm looking forward to his pro day because if he runs 4.5, he's right back into that second round like grade. Because, of the deep-ass wide receiver class. Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU also.
Bro.
He did a great.
Listen,
great. But
the deep receiver class, the deep receiver class coupled with the deep free agency class.
Avery, my girlfriend's giving you compliments on your camera. She noticed.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey. Nah, the deep receiver class coupled with the deep free agency is just, I think we're going to see some team.
Bro, this is a fun year. You're going to see some moves, with the free agency stuff.
Listen, and I'm just throwing this out there to start this little snippet for free agency. A team to watch here is the Bengals. They didn't lose a lot. They just franchise tagged T. Higgins. And they could really make some moves. I'm just telling you.
Talking about them. They got their quarterback. They're trying to win something. They're not happy about how the last year went.
I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. That's my bet to win that division next year.
But look,
that's your bet this year.
No, I'm saying.
I'm saying that
Steelers are kind of on that.
Oh yeah, no, I bet them last year. I bet the Bengals.
Really, if you're looking at a team like the Steelers, though, like you really look like. Mike Tomlin's has been there for 17 years. They're tired of. They want to win. I mean, are you really gonna sit there and stick with Kenny Pickett, bro? Because if you are, you're not serious.
That is up to Mike.
A lot. When
you
they
think
talk
so?
about when the owner. So put it this way: when the owner talked about hiring Arthur Smith, he goes, Mike makes all those decisions, and so
So how many weeks does?
Yeah, I mean, it depends who they sign. That's what I mean. That's why it's interesting. I mean, that's the same thing. Because, look, you got Desmond Ridder in Atlanta. How many weeks does he have? The Vikings don't have a quarterback. So, the Raiders probably don't have a
I can help you, bro. You start listening, honey, I'll give you the numbers. You start listing them off. I got you.
Desmond Ridder is not starting a game this year.
Desmond Ridder.
0, right?
Yeah. Why even fucking do training camp?
Well, and that's what I'm saying, and that's a team to watch out for. They got Raheem Moore. He doesn't like how his Tampa Bay time went. He wants to prove he could be a good head coach. So they have. Bro, I think Kirk Cousins makes sense for them to almost be even just a bridge gap.
Bro, Desmond Ridder does not have a job until Kirk Cousins, Russell Wilson, Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro.
Well, I'm curious from somebody on the outside, somebody let me ask you, Avery. When you see Kenny Pickett, if somebody was trying to convince you that, hey, look at his first year, didn't end bad. Look at his numbers in the fourth quarter. He's a winner, and look at who his coordinator was in Matt Canada, man. He has some potential. Arthur Smith comes in, could anybody convince you of that?
Bro, I'll be honest. This is coming from somebody who just looks at the Steelers on paper. On paper, that offense doesn't scare me. Outside of George Pickens and Najee Harris and Jalen Warren. Freiermuth also. I like Freiermuth. I'm a big Freiermuth guy. But outside of those 4 guys, I'm not terrified of anybody else on that offense. Like,
Well, let me ask you this then.
What other offense has 4 guys though that scare you?
a lot.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Yeah, but it's
Jackson Smith and
the Steelers have a much improved line, and honestly, Deontay Johnson started shining a lot when Mason Rudolph came in. If we're being honest, Deontay started going off. He's an elite route runner.
That's a Deontay Johnson Mason Rudolph because they've been together for 4 years. Like, that's who Deontay Johnson's constantly working with.
There was like, so many plays where Deontay was like wide open in the end zone and Kenny would miss him, which kind of goes back to the Kenny Pickett thing.
And you guys,
how many weeks did he have?
He has so bye week.
4 to 6, bro. 4 to 6. That's why I give him 4 to 6. And I don't know when y'all's bye week is.
How many weeks does he have? Because it's not like this dude is known. Like last year, he was coming in giving games away. So like, okay, so Kenny Pickett.
No, we're literally just gonna.
We're Kenny Pickett.
I'm for the sake of this argument. I am blaming Matt Canada for 100% of Kenny Pickett last year. How many weeks does Kenny have?
Okay, I think that if they bring in just Mason Rudolph and that's basically the competition, I think he has. I mean,
the bye week.
He has till the bye week. Yeah, he has till the bye week.
Week 8, week 7, week 8, so 6 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. Because you got to get. I mean, if you look at that, you know, last year, and I know it's the preseason, but he looked good. You know, people were going into that season saying he ended last year good. The preseason looks great, and it just did not work out.
Bro,
most of the offense didn't work out.
I have to do this for the sake of the argument. And this is, you just did exactly what seemingly 85% of Steelers fans do when I bring up Kenny Pickett at all. You went like this. You kind of rolled your eyes and you went, I mean, he looked good. You know what I mean?
I hear you, and
he doesn't turn the ball over. That's valuable.
Who's
and
there?
It almost stops there.
Okay. But look how bad their offense
This is the way I equated it.
Yes,
I basically kind of equated it like when I watched the Steelers with Ben.
So what do you have like? Yeah, bro, that's the look you're gonna get.
When you start a game, when you start a game though, the coaches and the game plan, it's all scripted. None of that worked. It never worked. Even going back to Ben, what did work? 2-minute drill before half and fourth quarter to come back and win games. Yeah. And that's when you're running, you're kind of calling your own shots more. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why I had some pause for Kenny, because I saw the same thing I saw with Ben. Wow, we suck until it's 2-minute drill. And that's when Matt Canada's not calling plays. And then
the reason I asked how many weeks is because the Steelers are one of the few organizations that would be like, fuck it, we're gonna just see how this season goes.
You saw that with coaches. You saw that with coaches, though.
No, I mean, I agree that Kenny.
Well, how many quarterbacks have the fucking Steelers had in the last 30 years?
But I'm saying, like last year, let's look at the years. They eased him into a job. Okay, year 1,
2 years ago.
This will be his third.
Yes.
Yeah.
Year 2, he got hurt. What did you? He didn't come back, which
that's another thing that people have misconstrued. He got hurt. He didn't get benched. And
right,
his first game without Matt Canada,
he got benched.
His first game without Matt Canada, he torched the Bengals. So I'll give him that.
I'll just I hear what you're saying. Year 3, this, that, and the third, but look at the first 2 years.
Listen, we're on the same page. All I asked was
he wasn't suspended.
It's
200
I think how many weeks.
I think at the end of the day, though, he's more on par with like Brock Purdy than he is with like, you know, Josh Allen or somebody who's changed games. But
man,
Josh Allen
y'all gonna stop talking about Brock Purdy in a negative light, like he.
No, I know, and you're right too.
I can't take it anymore. If you want me to be honest, I know the New England Patriots have $1 million of cap room. Don't be shocked if they go out there, trade up. They ain't even got to trade up. Like, they got the number 3 overall pick. They take the best of those the three that's going to be there, which, you know, if Dan Quinn wants to take fucking Drake May, you know, and bet on that. And we know what the Bears are thinking about doing with Caleb Williams. I like Jay Daniels in New with $101 million of cap room to build around him. I don't think Bill Belichick is in the building anymore. I think they can build a team now, with Mayo being a former player. He knows what he's going to want. I think you should watch New England next year. Just, not saying
they take a quarterback in the first round.
I don't.
Are they passing up Marvin Harrison Jr. at that pick?
Who's your quarterback, bro?
Who's your quarterback if you're New England? The better of the two?
I don't know if Bailey Zappi is to be there. I'm a Bailey Zappi guy. You got 1,000 yards in a fucking college year with 70 touchdowns.
But for a team like the Patriots that hasn't successfully drafted a wide receiver fucking ever, do you pass up on Marvin Harrison Jr. at that pick?
Yes.
Bro, you just chalk up this year and say, fuck it, the Dolphins are going to be crazy, the Bills are going to be crazy. Fuck it, we're at least going to get a dope receiver. We'll worry about a quarterback next year.
I could see the Patriots
worry about a quarterback.
Loading up.
That's how you get I'm with Riley.
I'm trading back and going for a first and a second round next year for that. And a first this year and a first next year. Something wild.
We talk about a team trading back in. That sounds like some New England shit. I'm just saying, trade 3, fall back, get I don't know. Chicago might trade 9 and a first next year and a second this year. You get 9 this year. You could get Penix at 9. That's not a reach if we're being honest. Or you could go get Neighbors, take that first and that second.
Or with them $101 million, you could go sign Russell Wilson and draft Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, but there's a reason why that there's been Hall of Fame receivers found in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round, and there's been how many Hall of Fame quarterbacks found anywhere outside of the first round?
No, I only ask because it's a very foreign spot for a team to be in. That not only is there debatably, my personal opinion, call it whatever the fuck you want. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is right now a top 5 NFL wide receiver. If you can get that guy at 3 and you haven't successfully drafted a wide receiver, I'll be 30 years old this year. I ain't seen the Patriots successfully draft a wide receiver. But you happen to also only have Mac Jones, who is very bad at football, and Bailey Zappi, who is slightly probably better than Mac Jones at football, still very bad.
He's not better than Mac Jones.
A draft pick. Is it even a waste? Or is it just, wow, I can't believe we let that receiver
Mac Jones
play.
was on the NFL top 100 list. He led the Patriots to 11-6. Oh, how quick you forgot when you make Matt Patricia a defensive coach your offensive coordinator. Yeah, that's what happens. What happens when you surround the guy as best receiver, Tyquan Thornton.
So do you believe Mac Jones is a good quarterback?
No, but he's better than Bailey Zappi, yes. And he's not as bad as he was last year.
They're a fucking horse apiece. It's a 50-50.
You go watch his rookie film. He was a good quarterback.
They both stink and are bad at football. You have that high of a draft pick. Marvin Harrison's going to be there. You haven't successfully drafted a wide receiver. I'll be 30 this year. Ain't seen it. Do you fucking take Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Edelman.
Did they draft Edelman?
Oh, yeah.
It was Edelman an undrafted guy?
I thought Edelman was undrafted.
Maybe.
No. Is that on them or is that on Belichick?
Yeah, he was the GM.
Right.
That's what I mean. So,
and that's why I said you think now that he's out, Mayo, who's no want to build a team and kind of knows how, a little bit of a structure thing. I think you're going to see a different New England team next year.
I think we're going to see a different New England team in 8 days at 4 p.m.
Yeah, thanks. Hey,
they're going to answer all of these fucking questions, to be honest, is what they do on Wednesday or a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, let's say they trade for Justin Fields and try to surround him with some talent, then trade back and surround him with picks. I don't know.
Or watch this. This is what, here. I'll be Justin Fields getting the call that I just got traded to New England. Justin, it's your sick agent, dude. I got some good news, dude. You just got traded. Yes. All right, bet. Where am I going?
I'm going home.
New England Patriots. Nobody's happy about that move, dude.
They already got the video of him celebrating his agent in the.
Yeah, he's going to Atlanta.
free agency this year is going to be crazy, in my opinion. Like, and the draft. The next 2 weeks of football are really, really, really going to be nuts. And then, no, 3 weeks of football.
Shit, the next month and a half, bro. The next 6 weeks. Like, you got pro days going on after.
Yeah.
You've got
6 weeks.
everything leading up into the draft. Like, and then the draft happens. Like, the next 6 weeks, like, it's.
Yeah.
We're in the deep roads.
We are. And there's a lot of talent that's going to come and go across the league. And big changes will be made. And I think there's some teams that really will make some considerable improvements, to say the least.
Yeah.
But that just about wraps it up for me and some of this, free agency and combine talk. I don't have anything else. You, Josh?
Nope, Joe Milton stinks. That's all I got.
Joe Milton.